What's up you guys, it is Brad here and welcome back to another LEGO City update. In my last update you would have seen I added some new sets to the LEGO City here, including this beach rescue truck as well as a new ambulance, this taxi over here, so basically just a lot of cars, and I also did some more work to the Bricks Tower and added a bunch of new LEGO minifigures. Here in this update I've got some more plans for the Bricks Tower MOC over there with some new interior details, as well as I want to work on some more landscaping of the city and kind of just see where else this update may take me. Also, in my last update, I began working on this area of the LEGO City just because I was fearing that it looked a little bit too industrial, and then I started adding a bunch of plants and stuff to it. My fears about it looking too industrial started to go away, which I'm excited about. However, I realized I left some blank areas right here. I put plants on this side, but I left these planters completely empty, so first things first, I want to fix those up. Alright, I got a bunch of flower bouquets made right here, which is perfect, and I can go ahead and put them here in the LEGO City. These go in very easily, and I just made them random colors, just a total mixture. I don't really care too much. I just thought they would look good here, and then of course once I add even more LEGO minifigures, it is going to look even better. And there we go. I think that looks really good here, so I'm excited about that. And now let's work on a little bit more of the LEGO City, specifically taking a look at Bricks Tower here. So I told you guys that I had some plans for this area of the Bricks Tower complex right here. A few updates ago, I went and expanded the windows, so instead of it just being 2 high, it is now 4 high, and I think that's all going to make sense very shortly. So the reason I actually went ahead and did this is because a few weeks ago now, I actually ordered some animal parts from Germany as part of a lug deal that we did, and I got these parts, and I'm like, these are all really cool, but what am I going to do with them in my LEGO room? Am I going to use them somewhere? They were very expensive, so I don't want them just to sit in a bin. And I was like, wait a second. At one of the resorts in Las Vegas, I think it's the Bellagio, they have a huge botanical garden. I was like, what if I made a rooftop garden, an animal sanctuary? This animal, for example, is not going to fit in my LEGO City. Where would I put a huge elephant? But I was like, if it's a botanical garden up here, that would be really cool. So I think what I'm going to be trying to do is build a rooftop observatory or something like that for the animals, an animal sanctuary. And I think this could be really, really neat. And because it's got all these glass windows, you'd be able to see it from my city really nicely, and I think it will look really cool. And because I want the draft to be in this building, that's why it has to be so tall. I'm gonna need to remove all the windows here just so I actually have some space to work with, so I'll probably just remove the front panel there, but I've got these 2 elephants here, which I'm really excited about, and I've also got my bin of, well, I don't know why that's in there, but I've got my bin of other animals as well, so I want to make sure I definitely include this little giraffe and at least one of the sheep, probably, maybe even 2 or something like that, and maybe I'll see what other animals I want to include, but I think this is off to a good start, and I'm excited to see how this can turn out. So the front of the build is off here, and now it is time to get started, just kind of placing the animals around and see what I can come up with. So the plan for this is I want to have the animals here on their green spaces, but I also want to have walkways around the whole floor as well so that minifigures can come and check it out. Only having a 2-stud walkway is not really ideal. I think I probably would have wanted more, but I think it might be a little tight. I'm going to try and see if I can get 4, just because that would make it a little bit better, but this is kind of the general layout I'm looking at right now. Alright, so I think that's the best I'm going to be able to do, but not too bad. So I've installed the floor here now, which looks really cool. So I've raised it up 1 plate there just so it's a little off ground. I've added the tile, and I've also added the fences. So as I said, it's not really wide enough, but nobody's going to see this because it's going to be in the building. But I like how I've done the fences here. I put these tiles, they're on a little bit of an angle, just how you'd expect a fence to be. And now you can see here are the habitats where I'm going to put all of the animals. So I've got to figure out a way now to attach them all in to make it make sense, and then I've got to add a bunch of trees and things like that as well. So the animals are in right now here. I've attached them all, so they're actually all fixed in place. I can move this, but now I have to add all of the plants and the trees and things like that, because right now this looks so plain. So I think it looks pretty cool here with all the grass in it. I'm actually really happy with how that kind of turned out. You can see I've got a lot of stems there. It's still, there's stuff missing. I think I want to add some birds and maybe a sunset or something like that. I have the roof which will go on here, so I actually can maybe hang some birds or something like that from it, because there are some studs here where birds could easily hang down from, and maybe a sunset right here or something would look really cool. So let's see what I can come up with. Okay, I think my little observatory here is now done. So I've built some things onto the roof like I mentioned I wanted to do. Right here I've got a sunset, and then right here is just a tree hanging down with a bunch of animals on it, which I think is pretty cool. And then down here, of course, all the leaves are in, like you guys already saw, and I added a bunch of animals here, a bunch more animals I guess I should say as well, like the butterflies and that kind of thing. I think they look really cool, and of course once the roof is on, it looks really neat down there. and it'll look a lot cooler when you can see it from the city a little bit more. And I feel like just the last thing that I need to add here is a couple minifigs just roaming around, and of course put the front of it back on. So I'm going to grab some minifigs from the bin here, and there the minifigures are in now. They look pretty cool. I also was almost going to add this pterodactyl kind of flying overhead here, but I just really like how this looks, so I didn't want to ruin the vibe, but I don't know what I'm going to do with that piece. But now that it's all finished here, let's get it into the Lego City. There we go. I think that looks really cool, and it's really the vision that I wanted to have for that space. I love how you can see the animals in there, and it really looks like something you'd find in Las Vegas. Like I said, at the Bellagio Hotel, they've got a really cool exhibit there, and that's what I was trying to achieve. And of course, down here, I've got 3 empty floors, which I do plan on building a casino. One of these days, it will make it there. The sign's already there, but that won't be in this Lego City update, unfortunately, but it will come very soon. While I was in Brickworld Chicago, I actually picked up this retro food truck. This was an older gift with purchase from last year, I think it was. Pretty cool. It was a very good price, and you can see no instructions or box or anything like that, but all the pieces are here. So now I'm going to build it up, and I want to put this thing in my Lego City because I think it'll go really good in the city. Alright, so I finished building the retro food truck here, which is really epic. It comes with these 2 Lego minifigures, which is awesome. This little sign right here, which I really like, and of course the actual retro food truck, which this is what I'm really excited to add to the city. I'm not entirely sure where I want it to go. Probably somewhere front and center here. I'm thinking I like it a little bit more than the slushy truck right here, so I'm thinking, fortunately, that one's going to get removed for now, and the retro food truck is going to swoop in. However, it's going to be on the opposite side. It's not supposed to be parked like that in the Lego City, but obviously the door opens up to the other side that I want it to be on, so I think that's okay because it still looks really cool from this angle. Maybe I'll just like move it down here or something like that so you can see it a little bit better. Nah, I don't like it. I'm going to put it right back here. There we go. That looks better. It looks a little plain kind of on the one side. I definitely think it would look cooler if you could see it from this angle. So like maybe it's not gonna go there. Here, let me put the camera down and we'll figure out where this could go. So you know what, guys? I didn't actually really have a lot of options, so I think it's gonna go right here. I guess it's not really realistic because the Lego City police would never let a food truck just park in the center of the street here, but this is kind of the only view where you can actually get a nice glimpse of the food truck. The only other option would have been over here where the bus is normally pulled up a little bit farther ahead, and the only other option kind of to see it very nicely would be right there, but then the big tree's in the way, and then up here is just too close to the intersection, so that didn't look good. So I think right here, I'm just going to put it there, and I think it looks okay. Well, we're going to make it work, and I think if I add some minifigures behind it with a little bit of a line, as well as like the sign right here as well, I think it'll look pretty cool. There we go. The food truck is added here. You guys can see I added a couple minifigures lined up behind it, which I think looks really cool, and it's kind of ironic because I bought this at Brickworld Chicago this year, and it's a joke because I often go to the food trucks at Brickworld. This year, I didn't eat at a single food truck because I was always out for dinner with friends and stuff like that, so very cool there. But yeah, it's just ironic that I bought a food truck at a show that has food trucks that I didn't even eat at this year. And of course, now because the truck is over here, I actually went ahead and added the pizza van back to the Lego City. This one hasn't been in the city in a little while now, but I'm excited that it's there. It looks pretty cool, and unfortunately the slushy truck is no longer in the city. It got retired for now just because I think the pizza van looks a little bit nicer there. I just got a bunch of parts in from a BrickLink order where I was ordering some parts for something else, but while I was there, I got a few parts that I needed to complete one of the buildings in my Lego City. You guys might recall a few updates ago, I built this building right here. However, I never actually finished the roof because I was missing a few pieces, and while I did place some other BrickLink orders and stuff like that to get those parts over time, I'm still missing a few back here, but not anymore. So if I recall correctly, I need 2 of these pieces right here, which are the 2x2 tiles, and then 2 of the, macaroni tiles here as well, and I think that's all I'll need. You guys saw I did get a few extras just so I have them in my collection, but now I'm going to add them up here and actually finally complete this roof. And there we go. I've actually taken the construction worker down as well because I'm no longer needing him up there because you guys can see the roof is now complete. It does look like all of these Lego bricks stacked on top of each other, and I'm really excited for how that turns out. That is exciting. Whoopsies. Looks like one construction worker fell down on the job though. And I also got these 2 parts right here, which are actually for the botanical garden that I built last year. You can see 2 of them are right here, but this side is missing 2 of them, so I will have to do a little deconstruction of the botanical garden to fit these 2 parts in. And with that, you guys, I think it actually brings us to the very end of this Lego City update. A lot has happened here in this update, which I'm really excited about. No major buildings or anything like that, but every little update where even just little things like this happen to the Lego City means a lot of great progress for the detail and the storytelling that is involved here. You know, it's not just the big buildings that we see from a distance, but it's also all about when you move up close here in the city and, you know, you just see all the little storylines and all the little things happening in all these buildings here as well. And that's what I've been really prioritizing recently. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this LEGO City update. Of course, if you did enjoy, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe. Stay tuned because I've got lots more videos coming very soon to the channel. I've got lots of plans for the LEGO City, and I can't wait to bring you guys along for the ride. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.